Hello, 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 Sagies. So here we are at the extended for your love forecast, black ice weather. Can the Empress rip the band-aid off? I felt like it was very important to make an extended for this message, even though the original message is almost 2 hours long, which I had to split it in a part one and a part two. But the more I got into it, the more I knew I needed to tap into the energy of the divine masculine that it was talking about, and also your energy to explore why you're there, okay? Why both of you are there. So, and in the extendeds, just to let you know, I I don't have a certain formula. I ask what I'm led to ask. I just ask the questions that I'm led to ask, and the answers, they help clarify your situation even further. All right. And again, I am going to ask if you could just pardon my voice. I am a bit under the weather, but I decided to push through it. So that's what we are doing. And I'm going to try my best to speak as clearly as possible, and soon enough, before you know it, my voice will be back to normal. Now, with this message, I wanted to give you guys a warning, but also at the same time not scare you or frighten you. But I guess you could kind of say this may be like a trigger warning for some, but the warning is basically here to let you know that we will be going down some dark roads in order to get to the truth. We will stay on the path of truth so that you can see the light. I don't sugarcoat, okay? So, no sugarcoating here. The message was kind of a dark one. So, I am not the type of reader that will pretty it up. I'm the type of reader that will deliver to you exactly what the guardian angels told me to tell you. In my opinion, I mean, that's how I operate in my day to day life. Just give it to me truthfully, the good, the bad, the ugly. Because if you have too many people, too many people in your life prettying up everything, then you're going to get messed up. So, you know, I just give it to you truthfully. So this message wasn't a bright one. However, the way I see it, just as I wrote here, that we're going to get to the truth so that you can come out on the lighter side of things. Okay? I'm going to shine the light on things so that you can get to the truth of it all and see the light. Because honestly, right now, I feel like you're in the dark. So this message is to serve as a flashlight, and so let's just get into it. But just prepare yourself. This is not going to be rainbows and unicorns. I'm going to give you the truth. All right? So buckle up and maybe grab a box of tissues. I don't know. So, as I said earlier, I ask the questions that are placed on my heart to ask. So, the first question was, how does your partner present themselves to you? Okay. So, this question came from the fact that sometimes people mask how they really feel. Sometimes out in public, people act a certain way, and then when they get home, they're different. Um, so, it's all about examining who they are, the person or the mask or whatever, the feelings or whatever that they are presenting to you. All right. And then after that, we're going to get to how they really feel. And sometimes they are the same, and sometimes they are not. So let's get to, how does your partner present themselves to you? So the question was, how does your partner present themselves to you? Now, let me tell you that I'm going to interchange the word partner and DM and maybe sometimes divine masculine, because the energy that I'm getting is that this is a divine masculine, you are the divine feminine. As I said in the previous love reading, that we all have the energy of divine masculine and divine feminine inside of us. Okay? So when I say these things, it doesn't mean that divine masculine is a man. It doesn't mean that divine feminine is a woman. Okay? So let's get past that and move forward. But just know in this message, whether I say your partner, DM, or divine masculine, they're all the same person. Okay? So this was interesting because the question was, how does your partner present themselves to you? And straight up, it says karmic relationship, fleeting, triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, and loving you. Okay? So these are what's presented to you, but it was in reverse. So let's discuss the reversal of this karmic relationship. Now, in the previous messages, I saw time and time again that you were the divine feminine, were trying to discuss your feelings and emotions. Like from the beginning all the way to the end, you were constantly trying to um, discuss something. And I'm guessing it's the conflicts, or trying to talk to the divine masculine and see how they feel and what's going on. And so now in this extended, I see, I can see the issues. And so you're still trying to discuss it, except this was in the reverse. So what it's showing is that this is what they're presenting to you: the fleeting, the triggering, the turmoil, the resentment, the lessons, and they're telling you, oh, I'm letting go and I'm going to love you. That's like a lingering promise or something, because this person, well, they're trying to be tricky, because you bring it up sometimes of what's going on and they deny it or lie. When someone denies and lies, it makes it very hard to have a conversation about the conflict that's going on within the relationship, which makes it even more like it nearly impossible to move forward when you're speaking to someone who denies and lies about the troublesome behavior that's going on in the relationship. So you're kind of spinning your wheels, you're kind of chasing your tail around in a circle. You get nowhere. You feel like you get nowhere because you're not getting anywhere. You can't get anywhere with someone who lies and denies what's undeniably the truth. Okay? So that's the way they're presenting themselves. And it's two-sided, because like when it was upright, that's what you see, that's what you're getting. Okay? But then when you discuss it, it's flipped, turned upside down, because they're lying and denying. Period. So you get nowhere. And there's been times where these behaviors, since they're like, oh, I am going to let go and love you, or like there's something in it where you've questioned, is this how they show love? Like, you know, when they get angry at something, I don't know if someone is telling you, that's just because I love you, or it's only because I love you, or I get angry because I love you, something like that. Like if I didn't care about you, I wouldn't be this emotional, or I wouldn't feel this way. Well, that's toxic, okay, to say the least. Now, I clarified this card, so let's go to that. The clarification came out as the King of Pentacles. This DM has a sense of self importance to the point of delusion, overly inflated ego resulting in toxic behavior with varying degrees of severity that's overall unhealthy for everyone involved, with an emphasis on money. And we've seen this in your previous message, the one that this is clarifying, when it came to your career and advancing in your career, um, career and finances. One of the cards straight up said finance and career. They said work, career, advancing, career, work, financing, all of that. And here he is, the divine masculine, the energy and the clarification under this karmic relationship and all of this toxic energy is the King of Pentacles. You guys know I always say, look at the images. He is sitting there smug, holding on to that coin, feeling some type of way of like it says straight out, self-importance to the point of delusion. He feels owed, okay, to the point of delusion. That is behind that energy. So whether or not this person is telling you that they feel like you owe them, this is how they feel. Okay, this is underneath it. And this is when it's upright. You understand what I'm saying? So it came out in reverse, which means that they're lying and denying. But since this is how they present themselves, you feel it. They do things to make you feel that way. But since it was in reverse, when you ask them, they lie and deny. But they make sure that you feel that way. All right? Tricky son of a gun. How does your partner truly feel about you? Okay, so how your partner truly feels about you. That you meet your soulmate when the time is right. This DM, this divine masculine, is very much aware that they are not your soulmate. They may not even believe in soulmates. They are not looking for one, but they know that you are. So take a look at the photo. Actually, it's not a photo, it's the imagery on the card. And it's the divine masculine and the divine feminine with their backs against each other. So they're not facing each other. And they have a cord connecting. And for the divine masculine, it's from his brain, which I'm sure is supposed to represent logic. For the divine feminine, it's to her heart, which represents emotion. Okay? And both of their arms are crossed. Now, one thing that I like about this photo is, or this imagery, is right in front. of the divine feminine is a butterfly. Butterflies always represent transformation. Now, what I am instantly getting though is that you felt like you can transform him or change his mind. Point blank, period. That's what I'm getting. And maybe he's given you the impression that he could, because in the previous card it said that he was going to let go and love. But in his heart, he may not even believe in soulmates, but he knows that you do. So he's feeding off of that. But here you are thinking that you can transform him or change his mind. And that's what you're holding on to. But as you can see, you're not getting along. Even this card shows you're not getting along, you're not seeing eye to eye. They have their back against each other. They're not even looking at each other. And the butterfly may even be there to lead you in a different direction. You just have to go. But it's very clear that he knows that you believe in soulmates, and so that's what he is working off of. So I wanted to see the energy behind this, the way that the divine masculine feels, and like how he truly feels is that you guys are not, he knows that he's not your soulmate. And so what is the point, of hiding that? And this is what came up. The of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles came up as to what's behind that, what the motive is. The DM is working hard for you not to realize that they aren't your soulmate. They are breadcrumbing you, and as they watch you climb the ladder in your career, they will continue to create reasons for you to spend your newfound fortune in ways that will benefit them and hold you hostage at the same time. Real quick, in that previous message, when I said hold you hostage, I wanted to clarify I am not referring to physical hostage. I am referring to financially or monetarily hostage, or mentally and emotionally hostage, not physical. Moving right along, the next card, I wanted you to see clearly what you're dealing with, okay? Because each one of us have shadow sides, and you can look that up. I don't think I've written about that yet, about shadow sides, but which of your partner's shadow side presents the biggest challenge for you? Okay, shadow side of our personality usually is the side that we need to work on, we need to heal, you know. So, which of your partner's shadow side presents the biggest challenge for you as it pertains to this relationship? So, the card that came out is fragmentation, and it had a lot of thoughts that seem to just swirl about in this divine masculine's mind, okay? Which is why they struggle. So this is a look into something that really they may not talk about or discuss, but here it is in this extended. We get to peek inside of their mind, body, and soul, okay? And get to the root of it. What's the issue? So this is the shadow side that he has, that is definitely kept from you, but this is what you're battling, okay? So, first of all, it's a swirl of emotions and thoughts. It's not even organized, okay? So for every little swirly that you see, it's a bullet point for another thought that's constantly rotating in their mind. All right. So let me just read them. I fought and lost. I am broken beyond recognition. I am secretly angry. When my destruction joins confusion, we break. Who did this to me? They're looking for someone to blame. After tears, there's silence, and finally I can offer a conventional smile. The only thing I'm going to say about this is the I fought and lost. That's not you. I believe that's a previous relationship because there was a card in the reading that we're clarifying that said that he's bringing baggage from his previous relationship and like projecting that into this relationship. So I really strongly feel the I fought and lost is from his previous relationship. I think he thought they were the one, and that's a wound. That's a wound. Um, and maybe you guys, because I was getting the feeling that you guys bonded over the wound, because maybe you feel like you fought and lost your previous relationship. And together you guys met and felt like we're going to make each other better together. And it's nothing wrong with that. Like, usually people do think that in relationships, but I'm getting the sense that you're an empath and they are of the opposite energy. And just like magnets, they attract, the opposites attract. So you both may have had similar experiences, but and that may have been the attraction, but you're very different. Okay? Shoot, from the top of my mind, the angels are saying you like to talk it out. They don't. Period. They may even be annoyed when you try to talk to them about it, and then when you do, they lie and deny. So you don't really get anywhere. But these are all the things that swirls about in their mind. I fought and lost. I am broken beyond recognition. I am secretly angry. When my destruction joins confusion, we break. Who did this to me? They're looking for someone to blame. After tears, there's silence, and finally I can offer a conventional smile. And that can go either way. They're saying that can go either way. I don't know if it's their tears or your tears. That can go either way. The looking for someone to blame, that also concerns me, as it should you. Okay, because this person could be doing this in their daily life. If something bad happens, they may come home and blame you or blame the dog. Who knows? But they have pain, they feel pain, and they're asking, who did this to me? Who did this to me today? They have an ongoing pain and an ongoing wound, and they're upset about it ongoing. But every day they're looking for someone to blame for it. Who did this to me? So let's continue because I also break this down. Fragmentation is clarified by the Nine of Cups and the Death card. Now, let me say this, and my sages who've been here since the beginning already know. For the new ones, I go on imagery and intuition first and foremost before I go by any guidebook. So don't look at this and say, oh, I know what those cards mean. I'm going to tell you what I got from it. So, regarding the Nine of Cups, a sense of entitlement. The nine cups are waiting to be filled with ego supply for this divine masculine. He he's waiting for you to fill it up, whether it's financially or complimentary, giving them compliments, but they're empty. They are empty. And He has this smug attitude that they're going to be filled up by someone with something that pleases him. Point blank, period. They need to be filled up. And I'm sure that you are mostly the target. And you know what I just got when I said I'm sure that you are mostly the target? The angels let me know. I don't know if you have children, but they're saying you are mostly the target, or your children, or your family, to fill his cups up. And I'm saying the ego supply, but a lot of people refer to it as a narcissistic supply. There's a lot of underlying narcissist energy here. And if you're unfamiliar with a narcissist, I suggest you look it up. I do myself write a lot about narcissists, and you can find that at my page, unapologeticallysage.com, under the Narc and my Rs tab. Now, the death card. This divine masculine feels dead inside, and they go around making others pay for it by projecting, sympathy solicitation, demanding expectations, guilting, manipulation, and all of this is under the umbrella of gaslighting. If you're unfamiliar with any of these terms, please, I encourage you to look them up. It just takes a simple Google search, because it's very important that you come into realization. Oh, they're saying that this is validation. So you know already. But for the few of you who may not understand what I even meant by the narcissistic energy underlying, please look that up. Or you can go to the page and go to my website and read about it. Either one, you just need to know what it is, what you're dealing with. So we've gotten to the bottom of his real emotions and why he's in the relationship, because he's benefiting from it. Okay, you are you or your family has been his supply, and he's been lying and denying. But now let's dive into you. Why are you in the relationship? Your commitment is being tested. Your commitment to love, honor, and respect yourself is in question. This is a karmic relationship. Karmics come in our life to teach us lessons. And as a karmic relationship, this is to teach you to love yourself, which in the previous message that we are clarifying, you did stop and drink from your own cup of love. And I was so happy to see that, because you're aware. And they keep saying, you're aware, you're aware, you're aware. This is validation. They've said this throughout this reading to me in my mind. This is validating your feelings, okay? Which is why they told me to say in the beginning, this, the warning and everything. It may be very emotional for you, because I'm speaking to you about things that you know already. So, it's going to get personal, because this is a lesson to teach you to love, honor, and respect yourself. Okay? Under any and all circumstances, don't try to rationalize why you didn't do it or why you're not doing it. You have to love and honor and respect yourself before you can even help anyone else. That includes the divine masculine, that includes your children, that includes your family, that includes your friends. You have to be good and healed within yourself first. Okay? So let me stop right here because I believe that that message is gonna come up again. So I'll give it all to you when it comes up again. So, my dear one, you are in this relationship so that you can basically get yourself back and like the previous card said, love, honor, and respect yourself. You need to gain it back. It was clarified by the star, which represents renewed hope and faith with a sense that you are truly blessed, feeling inspired. Somewhere along the way, you lost it. Somewhere along the way, you lost it. You lost your hope. You lost your faith. And, and excuse me, my voice went out a little bit. Somewhere along the way, you lost your hope and your faith and the sense that you are truly blessed. You're looking for something outside of yourself in order to feel good about yourself. And you can't do that. You cannot do that. All of that is within you. And this karmic relationship is going to teach you that the hard way. But nevertheless, it's to teach you to love, honor, and respect yourself. Drink your own cup of love. So, and it's even more, of that message with the star card backing it up, saying, renewed hope and faith with a sense that you are truly blessed. Okay? Your commitment to yourself is being tested through this relationship. That is why this relationship is here. So that you can come out of it valuing yourself, loving yourself. Because somewhere you lost it. And I'm going to say before you got in the relationship, because this relationship is with you in order to bring it back, bring you back to that, bring you back to yourself. Okay? The value of yourself, your value, your self value. You need to get it back. All right. They saying get the box of Kleenex. All right. Next card. Currently, what you're doing is blocking the flow of energy and movement by resisting change. Okay. So let me back up a little bit because I just dove right into this. This is an energy snapshot of the commitment card, the testing of your commitment and the star card. I wanted to know the energy behind that. What's going on. And that's in order to give you a complete picture, a full picture of your entire situation. That's the only way that it can work in order to help you manifest your way out of it, in order to help you see the light. Because you're going down these dark streets, and I'm bringing you the light with enlightenment. So we will look at your energy, okay? Because those previous cards as to why you're there, first of all, well, because you also have to ask yourself, well, you lost yourself for a moment, which is why you ended up in this relationship. You're in it trying to bring your identity back. A relationship or a person cannot bring you your identity. Okay? Only you can. It's within you. You have to love yourself. But you found yourself in that relationship and now you feel stuck. But really what you need to do, what you need to get from it is find your strength to love, honor, and respect yourself. Now let's look at, now this is the energy. Y'all know I just busted out with it, but this is the energy that's preventing you from the love and the honor and respect and being the star card. It's the reverse Eight of Wands. And it's the energy of blockage, blocking the flow of energy and movement by resisting change. You're resisting change. Only you know why. Okay? Ask yourself why. Are you resisting change? What is the attachment? What's going on? And I'm available for readings. Just hit up unapologeticallysage.com and we'll get real personal and answer questions directly. But moving right along, what is the best way to communicate with your partner? This question was very important to me that I ask in this reading because I know from the previous reading that you've been attempting to have discussions and heart to heart discussions, one on one discussions, and talk it out, work it out, talk, 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 talk. And as we seen with the imagery of that previous message that we are clarifying, um, it appeared they weren't having any of that. The facial expressions, like those facial expressions, honey, they were not good. At times, the person wasn't even looking at you. They were looking off, thinking about someone else or something else. When they did look at you, it was a facial expression of discontent, or disdain. Um, so yeah, I felt it would serve you very well to find out what is the best way to communicate with your partner, because you can't, sometimes you have to deviate from your communication style. Sometimes there's one-offs. Um, and so the best way, when it seems to be hard or impossible to communicate with someone, and if it seems like they're not hearing you, the best way is to ask the cards, what is the best way to communicate with this person? How should I communicate with this person? So that's what I did. Let's dive in and sage this out. The best way to communicate with this person has to do with the Empress energy. Upright, the Empress energy is naturally who you are. She's very nurturing to people that has wounded energy. As an empath, you will be able to pick this energy up quickly. You have no problem stepping in and stepping up to protect and help people. You are drawn to the wounded because you want to heal them. Sometimes the nurturer's good deeds are taken advantage of. So, let me say this. This card came out in the reverse as far as how you should communicate with your divine masculine. I wanted to present it to you first in the upright so that you could understand more so the reversal of it. Okay? So you're an empress naturally. You're empathic. You're an empath. So you feel and you can sense wounded people and you want to heal them. There's nothing wrong with that per se. Nothing wrong with that per se. But let's get into how it was reversed. What does this card mean in reverse? In reverse is how they want you to communicate with your partner. So Reversed, the Empress card is giving you um, information on it as far as how to communicate with them. And we're going to explore this even more, okay? So this is not it in all. This is just the start of trying to help you on how to communicate with this person in order for them to hear you and listen to you, see you, acknowledge you, okay? And actually, they just corrected me in a way. I don't want to give you the impression that this section is for them. No, this section is for you. This section is for you to get an understanding, a better understanding on what you need to say and do to communicate your thoughts, feelings, and emotions to them. Okay? So don't look at it like this is for them. This is for you. This is for you to have a deep understanding of what's going on within you and how to express it and what needs to be expressed. Because at the end of this, I'm going to give you some focal points for the discussion. Okay, we're going to bullet point out the discussion, the points that you need to hit on. Because I've seen that you've been trying to discuss, and this person seems to not be listening. So, and that way, I'm going to help you help them. I'm going to help you help yourself, help them listen. So, as it pertains to communication, how to communicate with this person, the reverse empress. In your relationships, you may take the mothering role too far, becoming overprotective, codependent, and controlling. If this resonates, it is time to shift your focus from the mother-child relationship to an adult to adult relationship by creating independence, trust, and loving compassion. Independence is highlighted because the money flow has to stop. Somehow or another, this person is convincing you that you need to give them money, or vice versa. Maybe that's not what I'm getting, though. That's really not what I'm getting. But you need to be independent financially, meaning, or they need to be independent financially. But it could be either way. Like, either they're making you think that you need them for money, or they're making you think that they need you for money. It's one or the other. But there's a financial dependence. There's a financial codependence in here somewhere. And you guys are someone's feeling good about it. The dependency, the financial dependency, and it needs to stop. It doesn't matter if the divine masculine is dependent on you for the money and they act like they can't make it if you don't pay his rent, or if you're dependent on him for the money and you acting like you can't get your nails done if he don't pay for it. Either way, it needs to stop, whatever it is. All right. Now, the reason why I was thinking that he's taking your money is because all of the messages and the cards before this has all been you giving him the money and him pretending like he needs it and he can't do without it because you were advancing in your career or your entrepreneurship, your business, whatever it is, you're advancing. And sometimes people with the narcissistic energy, they like to see you do good, but not better than them. So moving along, but from this independence, all right, you need to become independent, and that's a way of expression, is just becoming independent. So that's one bullet point. The next one is you have been giving away your personal power by placing too much emphasis on your partner's emotional or material needs, thus neglecting your own. And my mic was moving around a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat that. You have been giving away your personal power by placing too much emphasis on your partner's emotional or material needs, thus neglecting your own. So these are like the ground rules for we haven't even gotten to the focal points on communicating yet. This is just the basics before you even go in for the discussion. These are just factors that you need to just realize and accept. You have been giving away your personal power by placing too much emphasis on your partner's emotional or material needs, thus neglecting your own. And the one before that had emphasis on being independent. It is essential that you fill your cup and care for yourself so you can take care of others without resentment. Without resentment. You see, because when you put your own needs off for so long and you put all your energy into someone else, slowly but surely you begin to resent them. And you fail to realize you have control over yourself and your actions, not them. Even though they may try to give you that impression, you have control over yourself. But and I say we because this happens and I've been in the situation myself, tend to resent that person. Eventually. Doesn't start out that way. That's why this was called black ice. Because in the original, I talk about how you were a warm little dewy droplet of water and turned into something else before you knew it. It's a metaphor, but it fits perfectly. But it's essential that you fill your cup of love, or excuse me, your cup. And the reason why I say cup of love is because, as you know in the previous message, that you stopped and drank your own cup. You were getting ready to give it away, but you drank it yourself. And that was towards the end when you started seeing clearly or more clear. So they're telling you to fill your own cup up and take care of yourself so that you can take care of others without resentment. So these first three right here was just the basis for the communication. So you need to do all this first so that you can even come at the divine masculine in a clear and firm state of mind. You have to do those three things first. And if you need to back up the message, go ahead and back up the message. Okay, so I asked for focal points that you should specifically speak upon. All right. And by the way, these yellow cards, if you guys don't know already, they are the Ultimate Clarifiers deck that I created by channeling the Guardian Angels themselves. I worked about 2 months for them. They have their own guidebook, which I channeled. So, what I'm going to do is go through the meaning like a quick, just overall for each of them, and then I'll break them down. So these are the focal points that need to be spoken about. So the previously, as I was breaking down the reverse empress, it was more so to give you like a ground level grounding, like a basic, what you need to, how you need to get in touch with yourself first before going in for this conversation. Because this conversation is, okay, they want me to make it very clear. It's going to be different than any other conversation that you've had with this person. So preparation. So that they're saying preparation. So the 3 images before this one, when I first introduced the Empress card, is the prep work. The focal points are what actually needs to be brought up, but in a smooth way. I don't know how else to say that right now. They're not saying like jam it down their throat. You know what I'm saying? Use your conversational skills to navigate how. Okay? So, simply running through and then breaking down. First one is the image of a credit card, and it's hide your cards, hide your cash, hide your coins. Okay? Which refers right back to money. Money, 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 money. That was a song back in the day. Next one. It says exclusive coping with uh, being bipolar, mental illness is affecting the situation. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't mean someone is bipolar. And I have to say that every time this card comes up, to which I wonder, why did they have me put bipolar on there? But it really doesn't. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily bipolar. What it means is that there is, oh, okay, they just said to get the attention, to jerk them into attention. What it means is that there's a mental illness that is affecting the situation. It doesn't necessarily mean bipolar. So the reason why bipolar is on there is because that word grabs people's attention more than any other, I guess. All right. Now, next card is as passive as it is, make no mistake, you are at war. Okay. So let me break them down a little bit. Hide your cards, hide your cards, hide your cash, hide your coins. That has user energy, which means that the divine masculine around you is definitely after your money. Protect your finances now, and what's in the dark will come to the light. Next card, the mental illness. The mental illness is affecting the situation. That is pointing out the fact and for sure telling you this is a narcissist or they have narcissistic tendencies. Either way, they have toxic habits that are not soon to be broken. So it's not like you can work with it and hope that it changes. I don't know how long you've been with this person, but it hasn't changed yet and it's not going to. It'll only get worse. Even if you do see a little bit of improvement, it goes back to the way it was. Okay? And they want me to read the last one directly. That is as passive as it is. Make no mistake, you are at war. This card blatantly says you are in the midst of a battle with someone or an organization. So for this, we know it's the divine masculine. Which actually, before I even go any further, this refers back to that karmic relationship card where when you discuss those feelings and what they're doing, they deny and they lie. Okay? And I told you that's passive aggressive behavior. And here we have a card that says, as passive as it is, make no mistake, you are at war. This card blatantly says you are in the midst of a battle. While the other party may be downplaying the fight, you need to understand that's simply a strategy to take you by surprise in order to catch you off guard. The best defense is to be aware, pay attention, and stay on your toes. Do not underestimate your opponent, no matter how docile they pretend to be. All right, and that pretty much says everything that is culminated, up until this point. Pretty much, I'd say. So, these are your focal points. You can say them any way, and they're telling me validation. So you knew this already. These are things that you knew already, but this is definitely validation. They've been blinking validation like a neon light this entire message long. Validation for what you've already known. Okay? So you need to stop giving them money. They'll be all right. They have narcissistic tendencies. So you should look that up to see how to deal with that, which on my website I talk extensively about that. And even though they're downplaying their battle tactics, war tactics going against you, they are. They are. They just don't want you to know that they are. Just like they don't want you to know that they know that they're not your soulmate. That's how they truly feel in their heart, but they're denying it. Which it sucks, but that's what people do when they're using someone. They hide the truth, because if you knew the truth, you wouldn't be able to be used. Like, if you knew the truth and if you got your power back, which is what this relationship is going to do for you, it's going to give you your power back in in a way that you've never had it before, okay? Trust me. I've been in one, I know about it. But which is actually honestly why I was a little sad when these cards came up, because I know what you're going through. But then I snapped out of it, because I know when you get out of it, you're going to be even stronger, more determined, more enlightened, more successful than ever. Okay? Once you get out of it, because that's what these type of relationships do for people like you. And so this is validation to what you've already known. So let's move on, because I have an energy card coming up for this reversed Empress. One last thing that's very important for you to communicate when you have this discussion is how this relationship has affected you from beginning to present. And I don't know you personally, but I feel like I do, because and as you can see, I turned the Empress back up. This is how you were, but this relationship has caused you to be in reverse, and the energy of where you are now and what they want you to point out is half empty. So hopefully you've heard this expression before. The glass, some people see the glass as half full or half empty. When you started, you saw the glass as half full, and you've become a person who feels, either you feel half empty or you see it as like you're now kind of a pessimist, and especially when it comes to this person, probably, and hopefully it hasn't, went beyond. But or they're shut up, they're saying, or they're trying to make you become a pessimist, because you were a person that sees the bright side of things, and this person wants to squash that and kill that. So that's that, the glass is half empty energy that needs to be spoken about, however that fits in your life. Okay, one of the things I just said fits, and that needs to be brought up. Yes, I found a way to go even deeper than what we've already done, by asking advice from your ancestors who have passed on, your loved ones who've passed on. I asked them to give advice. Um, I was going to ask for advice anyway, but I wanted it to be specific to you, the person who's listening right now. So here's the advice from your ancestors as it relates to this relationship. And whomever they're telling me to tell you right now, whoever popped in your head right now, it is from them. This is what they have to tell you. Your ancestors' advice is to apologize to yourself. Have a discussion with yourself about the underlying feelings that led you to stay in this relationship well after you should have. Identify your emotions. Your ancestors ask that you do not deny your true emotions because this process serves a higher purpose. It will repeat. This lesson will teach you when to set aside your pride so that you can love, honor, and respect yourself. Part of the higher process is to not repeat this. So, at the end of these messages, I like to give you guys a poem, a quote, or a verse. And as I was looking, I couldn't find one, and it just dawned on me to go ahead and use one of mine. So here it is. Make this a butterfly week. Be the catalyst for transformation in your life so that you reflect your beliefs. Now, this actually, I turned it into a magnet that is for sale on my page for only $4, and that includes shipping and handling. And there's lots more there, but they are only $4 right out the door. I mail it to you, ship it to you for $4, and it's even more magnificent in person. All right, so make this a butterfly week. Be the catalyst for the transformation in your life so that you reflect your beliefs. All right. I am Indigo Sage, and I do have a spiritual website at unapologeticallysage.com. And you can find unapologeticallysage.com on Instagram, Facebook, and now Twitter. And again, you can go to unapologeticallysage.com. It's a spiritual website with lots of topics. And one of them is about narcissism. It's about my personal experience with all of the narcissists in my life. It's educational and enlightening. So it's a good place to start if you are unfamiliar with narcissism. Also, it's a good place to, if you, even if you are familiar, it's a good place to read my experiences because I'm sure that they are comparable to yours. And it's validation for when you have some people in your life who don't believe your experiences or they don't understand because they're not experiencing it. So it's a community of support that I've created. Um, and so I'm mentioning it this much and this heavy about the narcissism because this message was narcissist heavy. But it does have lots of other spiritual enlightenments on that page. Not to mention that's where you can find out how to get a tarot reading and just advice on the contact me page. Again, that is unapologeticallysage.com. I am Indigo Sage, an enlightened soul.